So, what is community notes? Community notes are these small explanations that are attached to a specific Twitter post or X post that users have generated, written, and voted to mark as helpful. And when the vote is high enough, then it appears under a text. So here you can see this note is saying that this video is AI generated, which is very helpful to combat this misinformation about this video here. So here we have an example of a Fox News clip that's been posted by Aaron Rupar. And this, he says he's a journalist and has 1 million followers. And in this clip,
I think, but I've always said, will they be there if we ever needed them? And that's really the ultimate test. And I'm not sure of that. I know that we would have been there.
And Trump is stating here that he's not sure if NATO allies would ever support US and would ever be there if they needed them. But then we see here these community notes added and upvoted, where it says that NATO has already come to the aid of the United States. Article 5 was invoked after the September 11, 2001 attacks, leading NATO allies to provide military, intelligence, and logistical supports to US operations. So this probably means that they were helping with the Afghanistan war and maybe later in the Iraq war as well, which is adding valuable context to this clip and showing that Trump might not be correct in stating this. Doubt. I want to show you how you can use the built-in Grok AI button here to launch AI analysis using x.com's very easy to use AI analysis of posts, where the AI is analyzing the clip and the video and even analyzing what other people are discussing in the comment section, and also searching even online, such as Wikipedia and others things, to put this into context. And the first default thing that Grok does is to summarize this clip. And here Grok is mentioning that Trump is criticizing despite over 1,000 non-US NATO troops dying in Afghanistan, and summarizing some of the replies from veterans are saying in the comment section about personal tolls, and explaining why Trump is saying these statements and regarding the policies that he wants to achieve. And the fun thing here is that you can continue to discuss with Grok, and you have some suggestions for questions here. Has Trump ever stated that NATO allies has helped US? And what Grok will do here is now to search the whole of x.com and also online, evaluate this question here. Search the web, 15 pages, searched so far 20 X posts, now up to 42 web pages been read. And then comes the answer. Yes, Donald Trump has made statements acknowledging that the NATO allies has contributed to US efforts, though he frequently downplays this and emphasizes US contribution instead. And then it brings some examples, yeah, and some lists of examples, and brings references to this. So as you can see, this community notes, this is a very good tool to combat misinformation on X. And for example, as I scroll down my Twitter feed, I would see some posts, even like this post posted by a US senator with 2.3 million followers. And if there is some potential misinformation here, and if people have created community notes, then this note will appear. So here, for example, Senator Lindsey Graham is claiming that the United States has contributed 22 trillion to support NATO since 1949. But then there is some more context, and here is the note saying that that 22 trillion figure, that confuses the US defense spending with direct NATO contribution. So apparently this is the total US defense budget, which might not be so honest to mention as a NATO contribution. And again, I could bring up the Grok and help analyze this post further. So I was just looking at the Wikipedia page for community notes, and here you can read all about it, or how the algorithm works, and how it's open source, etc. And I asked ChatGPT to summarize the Wikipedia article, and what it says is that, of course, this community notes is adding some context to posts from to contributor. And it uses a bridging algorithm that prioritizes cross-ideological agreement rather than simple majority votes. So this means that it's not as simple as who gets the most vote for a community note to be displayed as the first note. It's a more complicated algorithm that is supposed to prioritize notes that everybody agrees with, not only that the majority agrees with, as far as I understand. And it's been starting from 2020, and now it's even applying to images and videos. And apparently, there are 133,000 contributors and tens of millions of daily note views. And some studies critics they say that there are problems with this system, that many notes never get published and most users never see them. However, some studies found high accuracy in the COVID vaccine notes. For example, 97% accuracy in one 2024 sample. But some critics they highlight slow and inconsistent coverage in fast-moving events, manipulation risks, and limited overall impact on misinformation spread. But Musk has stated that he wants to keep improve community notes and some ideas about showing to users that's read a post that was full of misinformation, and the next time they log on to X, they will then see a community note for that post they previously read, so that they are updated as to the information in that post. And there is even a GitHub repository for a community note where the source code for the algorithms and everything is posted. So yeah, that's how it works. That's some of the ways that misinformation is combated on X.